Bitcoin capitulations are made up of two parts. We have the price-based capitulation, the obvious one, the big drawdown that shocks everyone. But we have a second one, time-based capitulation. Now, if we look at the current Bitcoin bear market, we can see clearly we had this big, massive sell-off towards $60,000. Very, very aggressive down move. Now, people will say that drawdown percentage isn't enough, yada, yada, yada. We need to go down 70, 80%. If we look at all the on-chain data, momentum indicators, etc., clearly we're very oversold. If we look to the previous Bitcoin bear market, we had a very similar sell-off. Now, again, it was slightly steeper at about 74%, but even though that was probably the immediate price-based capitulation, there was still a length of time where Bitcoin chopped, went sideways, ultimately set a slightly lower low, and we can see here that was about 156 days. From this initial shock, the initial catastrophe, everyone capitulating, fear running through the market, 156 days. If we look at where Bitcoin currently is, and I just add that fractal onto the current price action, we can see that if we were to replicate this, 156 days, we're only 10 days away, the 12th of July, 2026. But we can see this is actually, I don't want to say a frequent pattern throughout all of Bitcoin's history, but if we look at, say, the 2015, we had this immediate price-based capitulation. A few months went by, we had the time-based capitulation. We look at the 2018, 2019 bear market, again, we can see not as clear and obvious, but definitely we had this initial big sell-off, a big rebound, some cool-off, and then before we actually kind of ran up and really set in those bear market lows, about 126 days. So again, I can lay all these fractals over the current price section, and they're all kind of pointing towards a similar length of time. I mean, that 2018, 2019 pointed towards about a month ago. Obviously, the 2022 we've just looked at. This 2015 one, a little bit longer, put is into September, but there's other data points that kind of reaffirm that we're kind of looking like downside momentum is running out, and this ultimate secondary capitulation might not be a million miles away. If we look at the Bitcoin Crosby ratio, we can see here that it just rented, well, as we went down beneath $60,000 for a second time, this big brutal sell-off went down to one of the lowest values we've ever seen. In fact, just beneath this green area here, we can see the only times we came close to that was the exact 2018 bear market low. End of story. We can see on another indicator, another similar momentum-based indicator, very popular one, the relative strength index. What do we see? We just set, again, as we went back down to $60,000, one of the lowest levels we'd ever recorded, again, only being met by the 2018 bear market low, and all the way back here in 2009. I don't know if you can really count that one. So second, third encounter ever, not a bad look. But a lot of people say, yeah, maybe it takes 4 or 5 months for this time-based capitulation, the human psychology to kind of come to nature, that we've had this big sell-off, it's not feeling great. But bear markets last 1 year. If we look at all the previous bear markets, 2 out of the last 4 of them, I know, shocking data points, have lasted almost exactly 1 year, which is true, granted, but that's in USD denominated terms. If we actually look at Bitcoin's relative purchasing power, do they always last a year? Well, what we can see here is Bitcoin as a percentage of global capital. And again, the last 2 bear markets were not far off a year, 367-ish days. Down here, 378-ish days. Again, the previous bear markets prior to that were a little bit longer. We can see 600 and odd days. If we look at Bitcoin in USD denominated price action, we peaked on October the 6th, 2026. If we look at Bitcoin's relative purchasing power, how it actually feels to hold Bitcoin, and what that comparable asset will buy you in terms of purchasing power, we actually topped out on the 14th of July, 2025, which again, we're 2 weeks away from. Am I saying that we're going to bottom out? I'm not saying based on seasonality it's a guarantee, but again, we're putting pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together. If I just go on to Bitcoin Magazine Pro here, what we can see is some key moving averages. And I'll just remove some of the short ones. We can see the 200-day, a very key one, obviously. The 365, probably the boundary of when we exit the Bitcoin bear market, if we cross above that. But if we just look at the 50-week and the 100-week, again, what we can see, we almost get this minor death cross. If I just go back to TradingView here, add on the 50-week and the 100-week, let's mark on when they had these death crosses and how they looked. So we had one around here, 2015. Not the bear market low per se, But obviously buying Bitcoin at $200 before we went to $20,000 wasn't a bad purchase. Back here, pretty much the end of the 2018-2019 bear market. Again, price was beneath $4,000 before we ran up to $69,000. Nice. If we look at the 2022 bear market, again, this wasn't actually marking the exact low. We did have this FTX big capitulation sell-off, but again, ultimately, you're buying Bitcoin at $19,000 before we ran up to $126,000. The current trajectory of these two moving averages is due to cross on the 10th of July, 8 days away. We're getting a few bits of confluence here. Now, if I just look at the RSI once again, we've looked at it on the daily. Let's have a look at it on the weekly, because what we can see is if we look at the RSI on the weekly, a few people have been pointing this out, so I definitely don't want to say it's something that I noticed, but we can see if we look at the Bitcoin price action, we set a lower low, meaning that price had this capitulation, set a lower low. But on the RSI, we actually set a higher low. We did what's called a bullish divergence, meaning this downside price action was losing momentum. What have we done here? Well, pretty much the exact same. We set a lower low in price action, a higher low on the relative strength index. Not a bad indication. The only exception for all this was the 2018 bear market low, but again, we actually did something very similar in 2015, where we set a lower low and the RSI set a higher low. Not a bad little signal to look at. But there's more confluence. There's even more. If we look to MSTR, now I know this isn't Bitcoin, but clearly there's a lot of relation between these two. Again, the same signal, looking at the RSI. We set a lower low, fractionally, but a lower low nonetheless. We set a higher low on the RSI. We set a lower low in the price. We set a higher low on the RSI. Is this a perfect indicator? No. But we do need to acknowledge that MSTR is a good proxy for risk in the environment. If we look to the previous bear market, MSTR topped out in February. Bitcoin had its initial peak in April, so a few months later. Then when Bitcoin actually set its all-time high in November, MSTR set a lower high. Strategy kind of led Bitcoin a little bit. It was leading, especially if we look at the bear market lows. We can see MSTR had this big monumental rally on the 30th of December, whereas Bitcoin didn't really break out until mid-January from that bear market low. There was a few weeks lead time on MSTR. We had the same story topping out in this cycle, a higher high for strategy as Bitcoin had this first move to 100,000. We had a lower high in MSTR as Bitcoin set its ultimate price all-time high. Scary similarity if you look at that. MSTR is now clearly showing signs of exhaustion to the downside. And I won't cover it too in depth, but if you look at the net asset value based on the enterprise value, which is the market cap plus preferreds plus debt obligations minus cash, their preferred methodology of calculating their net asset value premium, the underlying size of the company in relation to their Bitcoin holdings, that recently dropped beneath 1. That genuinely is, regardless of what lens you're looking through it, buying $1 of Bitcoin for less than $1. From a fundamental perspective, it's hard to imagine MSTR going much lower than this. Of course it can. I'm just saying it's seeming a little unlikely. If we go back over to Bitcoin Magazine Pro, we can also see the active address sentiment indicator. One of the telltale signs of a bear market is fewer and fewer people using Bitcoin, losing confidence, and bearish price action, of course. If we look at the active address sentiment indicator, this orange line shows that we have some renewed bullish, positive price momentum, and it's actually supported by more utilization of Bitcoin on-chain. Let's have a look at every time the orange crossed back above this lower deviation band, since it marked the previous bear market low. It's not got a bad track record. I'm not saying it nails it 100% of the time. No indicator is a holy grail indicator. All I'm saying is when this flashes, it usually is a pretty good indication. Fair enough, here wasn't the best signal, but we could see even on this one, it marked the price before we had a big jump up. And here, it marked the price at around $60,000 before we ran up to above $80,000. There's lots and lots of little bits of confluence kind of coming together to point towards the fact that downside momentum is really running out. I mean, if we just go back to the Crosby ratio here, just hide all the drawings that we've currently got, we set one of the lowest levels ever, not just on the daily, but on the weekly time frame. We have here in 2012, pretty much the bear market low. We have here in 2015, pretty much the bear market low. In 2018, granted, we did enter this range a couple times, and one was actually prior to this big drop we had down from around $6,000 to the mid $3,000 range. And again, in 2022, similar story. We had this immediate price-based capitulation as we jumped down, and then we did go into this territory again a few months later as we had this time-based capitulation. But again, right now, we had this initial drop into it. We came up and out, back into it. We've had this second drop into the weekly. It's not just on the daily. It's not just from one momentum indicator. It's not just measuring in USD valuations. If we look at a percentage of global capital, if we look at BTC proxies and MSTR, if we look at network utilization, I mean, we didn't even cover things today like the production cost. You're buying Bitcoin for pretty much less than it costs to make a Bitcoin. That's ridiculous. Do you know how rare these opportunities are to buy Bitcoin for less than it costs to make a Bitcoin? Again, you have a few handfuls of examples throughout the entire history of Bitcoin, and all of them with the exact bear market low. I think saying we have to bottom in October, because we always do that, and saying we won't is saying this time will be different. Saying we're not close to a bottom now is saying this time will be different, because all of the other metrics, excluding one seasonality data point, which, as we said, I think is dubious in the best of times anyway, considering we have such a small sample size, and 2 of the last 4 Bitcoin bear markets, again, didn't last a year. I don't know why this is such a strong narrative. If Bitcoin isn't bottoming here, then that is this time is different, because by all indications, on-chain data, fundamentals, technicals, derivatives, psychology, all of them are pointing towards absolute downside exhaustion. Could we have a few more percent of the downside? Yes. Are we going to bottom exactly in 10 to 14 days? Who knows? But again, I feel like a broken record because we've been doing this for many, many weeks now. To not even consider scaling in at these prices is risky. I think it's a bold bet to think it's impossible that Bitcoin hasn't bottomed out. Now, we are still beneath that 200 weekly moving average. I would like to see Bitcoin convincingly reclaim that level. And then once we can finally break above, say, the 365 day, which is going to be in the mid $80,000 regions, at that point, I definitely think, bull market's back on. But the 200 daily moving average in just a few days is going to be at around $70,000 from a technical standpoint as well. Once we kind of get back above these key levels, start breaking some key levels of resistance, we can see Bitcoin moves so fast from these bear market lows. In the last time, 21st December 2022, it took 100 days to go from around $15,000, $16,000 to $30,000. Not very long. What about in the bear market before that? We were at around $3,000, $4,000, and within 100 days, we'd gone to nearly $14,000, 250%. What about the bear market before that? Because after we'd had this secondary capitulation, within 100 days, we had, gone up well over 100% there, but depending on where you mark 100 days, we've gone from about $230 to over $460. Bitcoin is not going to hang around for very long once this low is in. There's no more I can say, apart from the fact that it is, in fact, coming home. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.